Hello, guys. Welcome back. I am Irvin Thomas Wilson, and today we will be we will be continuing the topic of contract of bailment. I have done a video about this topic earlier. So, we will talk more about it today. And today we will be specifically talking about the duties or rights of the bailer and bailee. So, first we will see the duties of the bailer. So, what are some of the essential duties of a bailer when he enters into a contract of bailment? So the first one is disclose of non-faults. So it does not matter whether the goods are gratuitously or non-gratuitously bailed. The bailer has a duty to disclose all the non-faults, all the non-issues, all the known problems about that good that is being bailed to the bailee. So if he fails to do so, this would make the bailer liable to indemnify the bailee for all the damages caused to him directly from this fault. So, however, it is important to note that in the case of non-gratuitous bailment, the bailer is responsible even for those faults from which he or she is not aware. The next one is bearing the expenses of bailment. So, in case of non-gratuitous bailment, bailer is expected to bear all the extraordinary expenses, but the bailee is bound to bear all the ordinary and reasonable expenses for the bailment. In the gratuitous bailment, the bailer is required to pay all the necessary expenses incurred by the bailee for the purpose of bailment for the delivered goods. So, we will talk about each instances with a similar example. So, in the first instance, if A leaves his dog with B, and B is a professional dog trainer, and he is going out of town for a week, then and A is paying him, then he will the then B will take care of all the ordinary expenses like giving food, etc., etc. But if the dog gets sick or something like that, and B has taken care of all the medical expenses, then A has to pay him all the medical expenses that was borne by him. But in the other hand, if A lends his dog to a close friend in case of gratuitous bailment, as gratuitous bailment, and A is not paying anything to take care of his dog, he needs to pay him for all the ordinary expenses and also the extraordinary expenses to take care of the dog. Now, next we will talk about indemnify bailee. So, according to Section 159 of Indian Contract Act, in case of gratuitous bailment, the bailer can terminate bailment at any time. If the bailment was for a specific time or purpose, however, the bailer is required to indemnify the bailee if the losses incurred by him due to a premature termination exceed the benefits he derived out of the bailment. Next one is indemnify the bailee when he suffers due to the title of bailer to the goods being defective. So, according to Section 164, the bailer has to indemnify the bailee if even after knowing that he is not entitled to the goods and makes the bailment due to which the bailee suffers losses. So, uh, the next one is receive back the goods. So, after the expiration of the term of the bailment or when the purpose is fulfilled, the bailer has a duty to receive the goods back from the bailee. However, if the bailer refuses to do the same, he will be entitled to pay the bailee compensation for necessary expenses of custody and care. Now we will see the duties of the bailee. So, the duties of the bailee. The first one is take reasonable care of the goods bailed. So, as per Section 151, irrespective of the fact that the bailment is gratuitous or non-gratuitous, the bailment has a duty to take reasonable care of goods bailed to a man of ordinary prudence. Uh, However, according to Section 152, even after reasonable care, the goods are damaged or destroyed, the bailee is not liable for the loss of the bailed goods. Next one is no unauthorized use of goods. So Section 154 of Indian Contract Act says that due to the fact that bailee uses the good bailed in a manner inconsistent with the terms of the contract, he can be held liable. So one of that inconsistency in the terms of the contract may be unauthorized use other than the bailee. So if a person lends his close friend his car to drive, and the bailer expects the bailee to drive the car, but the bailee lends another person to drive the car, and it got hit or something, some damage is caused. So then the bailee is liable. Next one, not mix goods with own goods. No, the bailee must not mix the bailed good with his own good and must keep them separately. So next one is return the goods. After the time for which the goods has been bailed is expired or the purpose has been fulfilled, the bailee must return the goods to the bailer as per his condition. Next, we will talk about rights of the contract. So, enforcement of rights. The bailer by suit can enforce his rights or enforce all the liabilities or duties of the bailee. Next one is avoidance of contract. So, Section 153 says that if the bailee does anything which is inconsistent with the terms of the bailment, then the bailer can terminate the bailment. So next one is return of goods lent gratuitously. So in case the goods are lent gratuitously, the bailer has the right to demand their return whenever he sees fit, even though they were lent for a specific period of time or purpose. So next one is compensation from a wrongdoer. If the bailee is wrongfully deprived by any third party of the use or possession of goods bailed and does them any injury, the bailer or the bailee has the right to bring a suit against the third person for the injury. Next, we will talk about rights of the bailee. So, delivery of the goods to bailer without title. So, according to Section 166, if the bailer has no title to the goods bailed, then the bailee, in good faith, can deliver them back to the bailer according to his directions. Next, can apply to a court to stop delivery. According to Section 167, if there is a situation in which a person claims the goods bailed to the bailee, uh, then the bailee can stop the delivery of such goods to the bailer by applying to the court and decide the title of the goods, who has the ownership over the goods or who has the titleship over the goods. Next one is right against trespass. So according to section 180, if the bailee is deprived of the use of the goods bailed by any third party, the bailee has the right to bring an action against the third party. The last right is bailie's lien. When the bailee is not paid charges with respect to the goods bailed, he has the right to retain the goods. This right is referred as particular lien. So, guys, I hope all of you have loved the topic. So, feel free to comment about the topic. Thank you, guys.